What is going on, you guys? I am late as can be. Actually, I'm not even late. I just didn't show up. I had food poisoning, and these guys hit up day one of grouper season without me. Yo, yo, yo. Everybody, if you don't know, this is Derek Van Hook. Give him a follow. He got out there without me, but we're actually gonna go see Justin over at cleaning station and see what they got into today. We have a crazy epic couple of days coming at you guys, and we're just getting started. Well, it already started, and I'm late to the action, so let's go. All right, Justin.
It's not happening.
This is what he already got into. He's super laser focused. Now that I just gave him a really sharp knife. Is it better?
Yeah.
It all makes a difference. But these guys got into the action. I'm gonna go ahead and roll onto their footage, and you'll see what them heading out this morning, and then we'll see you back here at the dock.
I have been waiting 120 days to shoot this fish, and we're finally on our way out to go do it. All right, so right now we're just doing a little bit of exploring. We actually haven't dove too much in this stretch of reef. We're just gonna zigzag over the 60 to 80 foot drop off. Usually the rule is if you find yellowtail, there's more often than not, there's gonna be some nice black grouper underneath them. Let's see if I can.
All right, everyone, welcome underwater and welcome to the voiceovers. Now, you guys are going to be seeing this stuff as I'm seeing it. Derek is there loading up his spear gun, takes a really good deep breath, and go ahead and hold your breath with him as he makes this drop. And he'll do a couple things that I actually point out that I really want to talk about that I think could be super beneficial. And I love doing this third person view so you see everything that the diver's doing. But you'll see Derek is kicking and then his kicks start to slow down. So once he gets to a certain point, he becomes negative buoyant and he just starts sinking. And that's the point of having a weight belt. And honestly, you wouldn't even sink if you had a weight belt, because as you get down deeper, the pressure actually compacts your lungs and it makes your lungs smaller, so you have less air pushing you up to the surface. So that's why he starts sinking. He goes levels off and he's in probably about 85 feet here. And that's roughly the range we're diving the whole time. It's between 85, 90 feet of water. And it's some long hunting, long dives. You see he just lays out on this rock. He's doing a little bit of grunting, looking around, hoping something comes in, maybe a mutton, maybe a grouper pops up, but a nice mangrove shows up. He lines up a shot. And you see these fish are not spooked at all. They are just cruising around, and one thing he does is you see him, he pulls the fish right to himself as quickly as he possibly can, and that way if there's a shark in the area, it kind of deters, especially if the fish stops struggling. A lot of people ask me that, they ask if I should be worried about, or if they should be worried about sharks, and I always have to tell them no, especially if you go ahead and secure the fish and keep it from struggling, because that's really mainly what the sharks are after. So Derek does a great job on this drop. We go right back to Derek's GoPro. Go ahead and again make a drop with him on this one. You see mostly of this one from his perspective, and he actually gets a different type of fish, and I like these type of dives because you really don't know what you're going to get, especially on the reef. There's pelagic opportunity, but mostly you get grouper, snapper, all those kind of fish towards the bottom. But again, making another deeper drop. I think this is about to 90 feet, and almost every drop is going down, sitting on the bottom. So these guys are hitting it hard, which we do the entire weekend. So make sure you stay tuned for day 2 and 3. Derek goes ahead and makes it all the way down to the bottom, levels out, and he's just scanning the bottom. They don't have any grouper in the boat yet, but he's hoping one might pop its head out from this structure. But this nice mutton starts cruising in, and here's Justin's viewpoint from the top. Derek goes ahead, lands a really good shot right through the gill plate of this fish and just starts ripping him up to the surface. He realizes his shot is just a little bit high, so he doesn't rush it too hard and rip him up into his hands, but he keeps his head peeled out for sharks, because usually once you get those muttons like in your hands, they end up kind of getting some leverage and wrench off of your spear. So he's holding it down just a little bit, head on a swivel for a shark, and once that fish tires out, he's going to pull it up into his hands and get a hold of the fish to where it won't get away. Now it's Justin's turn to dive. He makes a drop. Go ahead and hold your breath with him. We have some nice third-person views on this dive, diving roughly the same area. This area looks like it might be a hair bit shallower, but it's definitely in the 80-foot, well, 75 to 80-foot range. And you can usually tell because once they go stop kicking, they start becoming negative buoyant and just start coasting down to the bottom. That's what Justin does on this dive, and he's actually moving a lot quicker than you think, and doing that, you know, stop kicking really does help you conserve your energy and lets you have a little bit of a longer breath hold, and really makes it just for a more pleasurable dive. You see he heads down, there's a mutton off to the left of the screen, and I believe Derek does do a little bit of grunting to him just so to kind of point it out to him. The mutton kind of does a little swirl around. Justin doesn't see any grouper, so he decides to take this nice mutton. Just like Derek, really calm with his shot. And really doesn't rush it. You see him just kind of line up on him. Didn't really give him the perfect shot, just was really patient and landed the perfect stone shot. Epic dive, super patient, just an like exactly what you want to have happen on the dive. And like you said, he could have rushed the shot, taken the shot on that first pass that the mutton did, but he decided to be patient, knew that the mutton was chill, just read the body language, and it just made a little turnaround and came right back to him, gave him the perfect stone shot. We are finally ready to get into some grouper action. Justin goes ahead, makes a drop, roughly the same area, this like patchy reef area, and I don't know if he saw the grouper from the surface, but either way, he makes a drop off in this kind of sandy, reefy area, is doing a little bit of scanning as he's dropping. You see him kind of spinning towards the right, and I think he wants to kind of make it to where, oh, actually I think he sees the grouper right there at the top of the screen. So there was, it looked like a mutton kind of swimming off. They already have plenty of muttons. He wants to land a shot on the grouper. He's doing his tactic of being super patient. The thing starts to move a little bit, but he's kind of reading the body language, hoping that the thing kind of stops, you know, swimming away, gets what he thought was close enough, landed a shot. But unfortunately, the fish tore out. It was kind of a going away shot, and those shots are kind of risky to take, but it's been a long day, hoping to get a first grouper, and that was a very solid one. Oh, and I actually think he was borrowing a different gun, so didn't have as much power as he was hoping, and he talks about it a little bit at the surface, and it's funny, he was actually really calm and collect about it, so he talks about it here in a sec.
Damn. Swing and a miss. Pulled out. Pulled out on like a 25. Nice black. Pulled out on him. There's a legal one down there. Yeah, there's a couple good ones right here.
Now that the fellows are on the hotspot, they know the grouper around, they do a little bit of chumming, and this is Justin going ahead and make a redemption dive. They see blacks from the surface, And once that happens, you know they're going to rock up. They're kind of just going to hang around in little holes, nooks and crannies. So you don't want to go necessarily all the way to the bottom. This is when you kind of want to hover, especially when you're hunting this kind of territory. You don't want to go down all the way to the sand, because a lot of the times they have little valleys and cracks and holes and crevices, and kind of to have an aerial view of the grouper, it's a little bit easier to spot them. And if you have one that makes the slip up, which you end up seeing on this dive, this one does, you end up getting a shot. So Justin goes all the way down, almost to the bottom, just hovers just a little bit over the structure, spots that there's a black down to the right, but there's a nicer one in front of him. It's kind of in this hole. He probably wouldn't have seen it if he went all the way down to the sand. He kind of pokes his head over there, and he absolutely rolls them. That's exactly what you want to have happen. You see, it wasn't on the out. It was kind of just a broadside shot, so I think either kind of quartering to or broadside is ideal for these fish. Once they start giving you that tail wag, it's really hard to land that shot. You can do it, but it's much easier just being patient and doing a shot like Justin just did. It was perfect. Derek was there to meet him to safety, and he was able to let out a little bit of line to allow him to get to the surface.
Baby. And a grunt. And a grunt. Dude, I had to go free spool. He was sideways. It was like a sheet of plywood, and I didn't know if he was stuck good.
Those of you who like the extraction dives where you dig groupers out of holes, stay tuned for this one. Derek goes ahead, makes a drop. It's his turn to try to get a black grouper, and he's diving some deep stuff. This is almost 100 feet. I think it was like 96, or it was deep. There was a little bit of current, not too bad, so it was enough for them to kind of stay over the spot. And I mean, you don't really necessarily love diving this kind of depth to get these fish, but sometimes it's necessary. They were diving all day, didn't see a whole lot. You see Derek's actually using the double flopper, which is, has its advantages. Less chance of a gear malfunction and the grouper pulling off. You have double floppers, making sure that this thing stays on. And I don't even know if that's the one he is after. You saw that one go right to this coral head. He actually is going for a bigger one that kind of scoots out from under this reef. I think that one's it. It ends up kind of scooting away a little bit. And you see there's a lot of them here, but it's because it's deep. This one kind of starts to go. Derek took a long shot, but a solid shot, and because he wasn't so perfectly sure on the shot placement, he knew the thing was going to rock up, so he loosened his drag on his reel, went ahead headed up to the surface. The fish was in the hole, and now it's time to prepare for the extraction dive. He has to do a lot of breathing up, and when you're doing this kind of stuff, make sure you're having people with you. If you don't have at least 2 extra buddies in the water, make sure you get them and just be patient. Here goes Derek on the extraction dive. He's holding onto the line from his gun, and the gun floats, which is a huge advantage. So he's basically kicking down the line, pulling down the line, trying to stay as on the spot as he can. And after doing these dives, I mean, these guys are pretty gassed. They had to work for their grouper today, but he's slowly making his way down to the bottom, and at a certain point, he ends up having to stop kicking, and he's just kind of cruising down the line, almost as if he's, free dive training on a line dive. But he knows that this line is going to take him right to his grouper, And with this, you know, the grouper having the shaft and also having the line with some tension on it, it's hard for him to go way deep up in a cave, as you know, as opposed to when you're using a pole spear with a slip tip. They have a lot more free range. So having a big shaft in them really makes it tough for them to get super wedged up in holes. And you see this guy trying to go in, but the shaft stops him from going sideways in the hole. And Derek's able to get a hold of his tail, get a hold of the shaft, and then get a hold of the front of the fish in the gills and make his way to the surface. And Justin meets him being a good buddy diver. And yeah, these guys they worked for it, but they got their 2 blacks. They got a nice mixed bag of muttons, mangroves, and now it's time to feast. And you guys stay tuned for day 2 and 3. You're not going to want to miss it. We got some incredible footage, and I finally get to join the crew, and I'm stoked about it. So stay tuned for that.
Nice little butterball.
My boy's cheeking it right here.
It's the chicken tender of the grouper.
I cut out that cheek meat. So this is a true friend. Whenever you get here, if you miss out on slaying the fish, at least you help fillet the fish. Trying to make light work of this.
Good stuff.
And this is Rich. He's gonna be out with us these next couple days. Yeah, we got some wild times in store for you guys, so don't go anywhere. We are actually staying at this place called Hawks Cay Resort, and look at this. MTV crib. Dang. Woo! I'm walking straight in and then straight out. Wow. This is nice. This is sick. Is this Milan approved?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and everyone, this is Milan. This is Derek's fiance. Soon to be, after this video drops, they'll be hubby and wifey. That's how you know she's a keeper. She's letting Derek spear like a day before his wedding. We got the full kitchen where Justin's gonna be cooking us up meals.
I'll whip it up tonight.
That's what he does with a master. That's nice. That view though, we'll be in the peasant quarters. Justin and I. And then right across the way over there is the marina. We can literally just walk there. Yeah, we're gonna be whipping up something tonight. Angler and Ale is going to cook up our fish. You wanna just give him that?
I think that's too much. That is a lot.
That's a lot. Look at this cool guy. You think you're so freaking cool, dude. Comment below if you think this guy's as cool as he thinks he is.
Back off.
We have a reservation for 7.
The name?
Hey,
Derek.
now it's time to go check out the pool. Oh, this is nice. Oh yeah? What's up? What's up? I'm Jack.
I'm Jonathan.
Hey, nice to meet you.
All right.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Justin went and brought me the pina colada. I met a couple of fans. Now it's time to go enjoy the fish. Cheers. That's really good. Dang, this is massive. I wish I was hungrier so I could eat more. We're gonna finish eating here. We're gonna get a good night's sleep, and I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning.